Hi, what's up people? Today we'll be making a guitar type Afrobeat in the style of Victony and Omahlay, and without further ado, let's get started. So first off, we'll be starting off with a guitar melody, and it is from our newly released guitar sample pack called Memories, and it sounds like this. So what we'll do first is to align our guitar sample tempo with the project tempo, and the guitar sample tempo is actually 98 bpm. Yeah, and one thing about our guitar samples is that you can also get access to the stems that was used in creating these samples. And then for this particular sample, which is called Caro, we are going to go into the stems folder and check for the stems, and we also have it in dry or processed, but for this tutorial we're going to be using the processed. And we have the chords, we have melody 1, melody 2, and then the mute. So I'm going to start with the chords first and drag it to the playlist, and it basically sounds like this. So basically I just need that first line, I don't really need everything else, so I'm going to cut that off. Yes, so we can build up this beat using this one simple chord progression, although we still have some other things in the guitar melody, but I just wanted to use these guitar chords. So one thing I like to do to guitar samples is to add an effect so as to make it even more realistic. And then next up, I'm going to send this to the mixer channel. Yeah, and I'm going to apply this effect called Pluto by Cymatics. Such an amazing plugin, and this is what is going to make the guitar sample sound like by default. So basically you can work around the the wow settings, which is the one that makes it look like he's going off tune. Just reduce it a bit. I like to use somewhere around 40%. Yeah, something like this. And what I really like to do is also to add some reverb. The plugin also comes in with reverb. I like to change it from all reverb to shimmer, and it's going to sound like this. Yeah, so you guys can see that the guitar melody is already taking shape just with that one plugin that we added to it. So what I want to do next is to add some chords. I'm going to be using the Lounge Lizard EP4 E-piano, which is really amazing and fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to also use the default preset. So from the guitar sample that we have, we can see that the key of this guitar sample is C minor, and that's what we're going to play on the keyboard. So we're going to quantize what we just played by pressing Ctrl Q or Command Q on Mac. Yeah, so it's quantized. Let's listen. Yeah, so guys, what I would like to do next is to consolidate these E-piano chords, so as to reverse it. And for you to do that, first off, copy these E-piano chords that you played into another pattern. Yeah, by Control Copy and Control C and Control V, or Command C and Command V. What you want to do next is to flip the chords, because our initial goal is to reverse the chord. So what you want to do is Control A and then press Alt Y. Yes, and it's going to bring up this tab. You can choose to flip vertically if that's your preference, but I would advise just leave it at flip horizontally. And if the case might be, you might need to do preserve start time, but in this case I don't need all of that. All I'm going to just do is to press accept. Yeah, so it is being flipped over horizontally. So what you want to do is to look for an empty space in your playlist, put the pattern there, and then highlight it, because we want to consolidate it. So all you need to do is to press Alt Command C if you're on Mac, or Alt Control C if you're on Windows, and what that does is to consolidate that particular pattern. So what you want to do next is to double click that pattern that we have consolidated and choose reverse, and it's going to sound this way. Yeah, you can see it's really sounding more, professional than the initial way if we just leave it the way we played it. So next up, I'm going to be adding a top line melody to enhance the guitar melody that we have, and also the piano chord progression. And I'm using a sound from a plugin called Spire, and it is called the Sparkle Brass. And I'm using this because it has this, high end frequency, knowing fully well that we already have sounds in the mid-range already. So I'm going to be using sounds that has some high frequency to it. So let's see if I'm able to create something really interesting from the MIDI keyboard. Yeah, so I think this is really nice. We're going to also quantize that. Yeah, so this top line melody can just come in at some point in this song, and it doesn't necessarily need to play all through the beat. So next up, guys, we're going to add in some muted guitar, for some rhythm, so as to make the whole melody sound really nice. And I'm going to be using an interesting content library called Mute and Slap. Just literally contain a muted guitar, and let's see what we're able to create out of it. Yeah, so that's it basically. So quickly, guys, we'll be creating the drum groove for this amazing melody that we have already, and we're going to be using sounds from the Made in Lagos free sample pack. The link will be in the description for you guys to also copy us. And I'm going to start with the rim shot. I like this. Next up, we're going to add the kick. So we need something like very subtle and not too harsh. This can work. I think I might need to change the rim. I think I like this. Then we can just experiment. And having created this, we can spice it up by just adding a shaker loop. What is an Afrobeat song without a shaker loop? So I'm going to select one shaker loop from the arrays of shaker loops listed here. Let's see the one that works. Yeah, I think this can work. Yeah, so basically I don't need everything in this shaker loop. I can just chop off one part. I think I'm liking this ending part. I can just pick up the scissor tool and take off this part, and use this particular one. think our kick is too harsh. I can change that also. Going back to the Made in Lagos free sample pack, I can come here and pick a soft kick. This can work. Then replace it with this. What I can do is to increase the volume a bit. So next up, we're adding some percussions to spice up this drum that we have already. And still in the Made in Lagos sample pack, we're going to select some nice percussion sounds. I like this double, so we can just drop it in the playlist. Yeah, so you guys are feeling the vibe already. So let's listen to what our guitar melody sound with the drum that we just created. So I'm thinking I should just change this lead top line melody to something not too loud, like something very subtle. So we can actually pick another flute or whistle sound. So what I want to do next, is to send this to the mixer track and add some reverb. I can also change the reverb type to something like Valhalla. So still on the melody, guys, we're going to record some chords using this flute sound. And next up, we're going to also play another counter chord, as it were, to also enhance what we have in our melody. And we're going to select another guitar sound from Flex plugin inside of FL Studio, and we're going to be using the jazz guitar for this particular sound. Yeah, so basically what was played in the flute chords, but then we alternated it and also changed the sound. So we are using a jazz guitar this time, and we are also playing the exact same chord that the flute played, but in a different timing and in a different position. And it's going to sound like this with the flute. Yeah, so the melody is taking form and taking shape already. And next up, we're going to come up with an interesting bass line to accompany what we have already. So for the bass line, we're also going to be using another sound from the Flex stock plugin that comes with FL Studio. And this time we're going to be using a sound called BB Flat Wound Edgy under the Essential Bass Guitar category inside of Flex plugin in FL Studio. I'm going to come up with an interesting bass line. something like that, also duplicating that same vibe. Then we can also alternate the other part of it. Yeah, so we're going to just listen to that with the old melody that we have. Yeah, so you guys are feeling the vibe already. Next up, guys, I'm going to go off camera to arrange this beat so as not to make the video very, very long, and come back to show you guys the final arrangement. So that's it for this video, guys. If you find value in this video, kindly hit that like button, and if you're new to this channel, also consider subscribing to this channel, and also turn on notification for subsequent and amazing content from this channel. See you in the next video, guys. Peace out.